welcome to the Cheap channel, the channel dedicated to all things cheap in the world of fragrances. And today we are taking a special look at two fragrances from the house of Versace that are under $30 each.
Fragrances that are from a designer house like Versace, under $30? They can't be any good, can they?
Well, that's exactly what I want to talk about today's video, so let's jump right in and enjoy it. So before I get into it, I want to give an honorable mention to three other cheaper end Versace fragrances. You got Versace Dome Blue, Versace Mano Fraiche, and the original Versace Pour Homme. Technically, you can find those online at discount stores like Fragrance Net, Fragrance Buy for under $30 on the lower ounce bottles, but these are more available. These other two I'm going to talk about, I found these at TJ Maxx, and I also been able to find them at Ross, and you can probably find them like at Burlington or Marshalls too, and they're on their own under $30. Now, I haven't been able to find Versace Dome Blue or Pour Homme at anywhere by themselves. I've only been able to find them in gift sets, and those gift sets go over $40. So not only are these two more available, but they're also on their own cheaper. But those other three are some honorable mentions I want to talk about. And if you find those anywhere by themselves for under $30, go ahead and get them. They're great fragrances. But we're going to talk about these two today. The first one we're going to talk about today is Versace Blue Jeans. Now, you've probably seen this around. You've seen it in a blue tin. When it comes out of the blue tin, it's in this very interesting looking bottle with all these etchings and these emblems on it and a rubberized cap. Very interesting packaging, really catches your attention, and you've probably seen it around and wondered, what in the world is that? I didn't know Versace made something like that. Well, the fragrance and the juice inside is very aromatic, comes off very fresh, spicy, woody, citrusy, and a little sweet. The note breakdown on this real quick. The top notes, you got citruses, you got bergamot, you got juniper, anise, Brazilian rosewood, and basil. On the middle notes, you have lavender, rose, carnation, heliotrope, jasmine, geranium, sage, fir, and lily of the valley. And on those base notes, you have vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood, iris, musk, amber, cedar, vetiver, and patchouli. That is a lot of notes, and that's because this is a 90s fragrance. This came out in 1994. Now, the perfumer that did both this one and the one we're going to talk about in a bit is Jean-Thierry Boutois. He also did the woman's version of this, which is called Red Jeans. And there's also many other flankers that came off of this one. You have yellow jeans, you have green jeans, purple jeans, you have baby blue jeans, baby pink jeans, and you have metal jeans. But I believe all of those other flankers have been discontinued. So the ones you're going to find more often is this one and the red jeans for women. Now, when I got this fragrance, I got it because of the hype from the community and also from Jimmy Fragrance pushing it as a good, cheap Versace for under, of course, he said $20, but it was about $20 or over for me. A lot of people said that it was smelled like a cola, fizzy cola kind of smell, that it was also really sweet, you know, smelled like a soda pop. And I do get that coming from this. Now, when I sprayed this, or at least how it came off of my skin, at the very top, I do get that very 90s synthetic sweetness and citrus vibe, that tinge almost. And if you don't like that, or you're not into that, then it's probably not gonna be for you. But I don't mind them. I don't mind the old kind of scents. I don't mind the old school kind of scents. It's fine with me. But it was something that even I had to get over, because I was like, well, I mean, if it's Versace, why does it smell this cheap? Even though it's cheap, it's still Versace. But as that top note went away and that dry down came through, the one thing that stayed consistent throughout all of it was the sweetness in it. The very strong vanilla and lavender. You just smell it all the way through the fragrance. And of course, you have some nuance from some surrounding notes like the aromatics. You had that basil in there, and you have some florals in there. But the one thing that stood out was that sweetness, that vanilla that came all the way through. Now, this is how it smelled off of my skin. It may smell different off of yours or someone else's. When it dried down for me, is when the woodiness came out, that amberiness came out. I think also the patchouli and the tonka bean that's in this did help to bring out some of that sweetness, and so did the sandalwood. But that dry down did become very musky, very ambery, very woody, and almost a little earthy, smoky for a little while. I can see where they were going with this, with calling it blue jeans, probably to make it smell like a clean clothes kind of smell, a very cozy, comfortable, kind of relaxing smell. And I do get that, and the sweetness does lend into it a little bit. Usually in fragrances where you want to do that, you'd add a lot more iris, make it powdery, or you'd add a little bit of cashmere for that fresh linen kind of smell. But I do see what they're going through with this. I do really like it. As far as being a summer fragrance, I can see it. I can definitely see it being a spring fragrance. I actually also see it being a fall fragrance. How it is right now on not too warm but not too cool fall days, I can see this. I can see it being a daytime fragrance or a nighttime fragrance if it's not too cold at night, because you won't get a whole lot out of it. But it is a very sweet, cozy kind of smell, but it does have that quintessential 90s vibe all the way through it. For the price you get it at, it's not that bad, and if you don't mind that kind of description, if you think that description that I gave is kind of throwing you off, then you might not want to stay around it. But if you don't mind that 90s smell, and you don't mind a good vanilla note, then pick this up. It's a really good one, highly recommend it. Go ahead and get it. Now the next one I want to talk about, which is the one that really made me want to put this video together, and it's the more recent purchase that I made, is Versace The Dreamer. Now you've probably seen this around, especially at TJ Maxx. It comes in a purple box with silver writing on it. Sometimes the people working will stock it up in the feminine cologne section because it does look feminine. I mean, it's purple with the silver writing on it, and there's nothing on it that says anything that it's for man or not. So you've probably seen it at TJ Maxx and thought to yourself, oh, it's a girl's fragrance, it's a woman's fragrance, it's in this section, or it looks this way, but it's actually a men's fragrance. And let me tell you, this is a steal for the buy that you get it at, and the quality that you pay for does not compare. It is incredible. Like I said, absolutely gorgeous scent. We'll get into it. It's a very white floral, aromatic, irisy, ambery, very powdery fragrance. That does sound feminine at first, I mean, especially when you talk about the florals, and the florals are strong in this. Before we go any further, let's get into the note breakdown real quick. In the top notes, you have juniper, tarragon, and artemisia. And middle notes, you have iris, lily, and flax. And in the base notes, you have tobacco blossom and amber. There's a rumor that this was the last fragrance that Gianni Versace worked on or put out before he passed. Originally, this came out in 1996, but was reformulated later in the 2010s to be this now. In the original, you can see the note breakdown. It's very different, had a totally different take on it, but it was modernized recently to be this right here. Now, this does still keep a little bit of that 90s essence and DNA since the original was made in 96. It has been modernized, especially on the middle and the dry down. And let me tell you, it is absolutely stunning the way this thing smells. I bought this on the hype that a lot of other people in the fragrance community said that the Dreamer was a great buy for the money you get, and you can find it anywhere. And then recently I was watching the School of Scent. Omar was absolutely bragging on this. He tried to clone it himself by remaking it, and he bragged and said this was a really good fragrance. And so I just had to go out there and get it. I've been seeing it around, I decided to go get it. Now I will tell you, the top note on this, especially the juniper, which juniper is also shared in the blue jeans fragrance, it smells very sour, or at least to me it did. I sprayed it on a piece of paper, smelled it smelled very sour. I just didn't know if I was really into it. Again, it had that 90s tinge, but I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna spray it on my skin to actually see. Sprayed it on my skin, it still came off a little sour, but y'all, the dry down on it completely made up for it. It does have those white florals in it, so you are gonna smell that all the way through. It does have the iris and that powdery smell all the way through it, but that base with the tobacco blossom and that tobacco essence to it really makes up for it and makes it a masculine version of a powdery scent. It is just so classy. This is so mature. Even look at the bottle. The bottle design is very minimalistic, but also very classy. Not trying to be showy, just being very presentable. To me, when I sprayed it on my skin and I was like, I gotta wear this next day, I wore it to church with a nice suit and shirt and tie. I felt like a millionaire. I mean, I know it's exaggerating a little bit. I felt like a millionaire. I felt like I should be in Italy, in Venice, walking down by the river in a white suit and a halfway unbuttoned shirt. It smells so nice, especially for the price. And I hope I'm not over exaggerating too much or overhyping it. I'm just saying, y'all, this scent really surprised me. And I paid 28 something for this size bottle, so it ended up being $31 with tax, but it smells like something that should be charged way more, and that I should have paid way more for. I mean, for the price, it is an absolute steal. Now, you're gonna be able to wear this more in the spring and the fall time. I would not wear it in the summer since the florals and the powder smell might be a little too strong, especially if it's an intense heat. But in spring and fall and cool days in the daytime or nighttime, this thing is incredible. I've never known how to take the iris smell. I've seen a lot of people talk about Prada L'Homme and Gentleman's Da Vinci and those iris smells, how they smell powdery, how they smell soapy. and I haven't smelled them a whole lot. I haven't bought them yet, but after smelling this and the iris note in this, makes me really interested in getting those kind of powdery smells. Not only does it smell very mature, very classy, it also smells very relaxing. It also smells very calm, like the blue jeans. I'd say even more than blue jeans. And it's very sophisticated smelling. If I could sum this scent up in one word, it would be sophisticated. This, along with the Bleu de Chanel EDP that I have, are probably the two most sophisticated, classy smells that I have. Again, if you can get past that juniper and very sour, almost fruity smell at the beginning, that 90s tinge, and you get into that middle notes and those base notes and that dry down, it becomes a totally different scent. I'm sure when it originally came out in '96, it was a very different smell, but since it's been reformulated in the 2010s, it smells more like what a modern fragrance and modern gentleman would wear today. But again, guys, very, very nice quality for the price that you pay. It's something that maybe not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people wear, but will definitely make you stand out, definitely make a totally different scent from probably anything else you might have. It is gorgeous. I want to go buy me a full bottle of it, just to let you know, in case Versace decides to discontinue this. I want to make sure I keep a good bit of this on the side. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Again, 2 cheap Versace fragrances you can find for under $30 each. Now, if you go out and you buy these 2 based off of this video, let me know down in the comments if you liked it and if you didn't like it, or let me know if there's anything else you want me to buy and review or something you think I should check out. Comment that down below, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Be blessed.